In 1984, the first Indian astronaut, Rakesh Sharma, was asked how the country looked from orbit. He replied with the title of a famous poem, Sāre Jahān se Achchha, better than the whole world. From that height, India appears as a landmass physically set apart from the rest of the planet. This is why it's called a subcontinent. It is geographically barricaded. To the north, the land is sealed by the Himalayas. To the south, wrapped in the Indian Ocean. Within these borders, the environment fractures. You can travel from frozen moonscapes to scorching deserts and jungles in a single afternoon. The way this land sustains over 1 billion people is not a matter of luck. These environments are the moving parts of a single system, where the survival of one region depends entirely on the geology of the next. 50 million years ago, India was an island that drifted north until it slammed into Eurasia. As the two land masses pushed against each other, the earth between them crumpled and rose up, much like a carpet wrinkles when pushed against a wall. The Himalayas are the result of that ongoing collision. Because India is still pushing into Asia at about 5 centimeters a year, this range is still growing taller, gaining about 5 meters every millennium. This collision folded ancient ocean floors high into the sky, creating the stark, dry terrain of the Ladakh cold desert. Here, the landscape is so rugged and the winter temperatures so extreme that it is often compared to the surface of the moon. Life is a constant negotiation with the altitude. Local Khatkuni houses use a precise mix of stone and wood to absorb the shock of earthquakes, while snow leopards and Tibetan antelopes navigate ridges where few other animals can breathe. That violent geological history created a high-altitude barrier. It is a permanent fixture that dictates the weather and the limits of survival at the roof of India. The melting snow from these peaks feeds the massive river systems of the north. At the edge of the Gangotri Glacier, a site known as Galmuk, or Cow's Mouth, the water begins a journey connecting the mountains to the lives of hundreds of millions of people. Rivers like the Ganga, Indus, and Brahmaputra act as conveyor belts. As they rush down from the heights, they drag rich minerals and silt with them, spreading them across the flatlands to create the hyper-fertile Gangetic plains. Human settlement follows this water. Because the fertile soil allows for abundant agriculture and the flat land makes transportation easy, these plains have become one of the most densely populated regions on Earth. The frozen mountains in the north effectively build and feed the life-sustaining plains below. The peaks are the water towers that make the civilization in the valley possible. Moving west, the terrain hits the Aravali hills. While the Himalayas are young, the Aravalis are among the oldest mountains in the world. At 2.5 billion years old, they predate the Himalayas by nearly the entire history of life on Earth. These hills serve a critical function. They are a natural barrier. They stand in the path of the Thar Desert, preventing the arid sands from expanding eastward into the fertile plains. On the other side of that barrier lies the Thar Desert. It is a vast stretch of sand dunes and rugged terrain, where daytime temperatures soar and access to water is a daily challenge. Survival here is an exercise in extreme conservation. In a place where water is often measured by the mile, locals scour utensils with sand to save every drop and catch the rare monsoon rains in traditional water collection systems called tankas. Without the ancient geological shield of the Aravalis, this harsh, expanding desert would likely have swallowed the vital agricultural lands of the east long ago. Further south, the land shifts into the peninsular plateau. This triangular landmass is a peninsula surrounded on 3 sides by the Arabian Sea, the Bay of Bengal, and the Indian Ocean. The plateau is bordered by the Western Ghats, a mountain range that runs along the coast like a wall. During the monsoon, these hills catch the heavy rains, which cascade down steep cliff faces in massive waterfalls. These forests are so thick with life, they've become isolated worlds for tribal communities like the Santal and Gond. Their traditions and ways of life are built on an intimate connection to the natural cycles of this high plateau. This region's ancient bedrock and isolation have preserved ecosystems and cultures that developed entirely apart from the tectonic activity of the north. When we return to that space-level view, the individual regions we visited start to reveal their connections. We are looking at a system of cause and effect. The mountains dismantle themselves to feed the plains. The ancient hills stand firm to protect those plains from the desert. and the oceans provide the rain that sustains the plateau. This physical blueprint dictated the human history that followed. The rivers that provided the irrigation also became the paths for the first trade routes, and the mountain passes that blocked the cold winds determined where the first great cities could grow. The national character of India is inseparable from its geology. To understand the people and their history, you have to look at the ground beneath their feet.